So my team, because we made purchases on different sites for breaking, are filing multiple federal lawsuits against Fanatics and whatnot, claiming that they are gambling sites, and we want to get them in for depositions.
Well, you know, brothers, Hollywood, the NWO is on a roll, brah.
So the gentleman who pulled the triple LeBron logo, man, spent millions of dollars on breaks. Millions. And lost it all. And he's not alone. So in the state of Utah, which is a very non-gambling state, they are filing a federal lawsuit to get Whatnot recognized as a gambling site. And I can't say I disagree with them, because breaking, depending on how it's set up, is a form of gambling. It is no different than going to your local state fair or carnival and buying a raffle ticket for a local charity to win a Harley Davidson motorcycle. As a matter of fact, I got to talk to one of the top, I would say top 3 breakers in the world today for an on the record interview.
And from what I understand from our talks before, Mike does have some, he can, if he wants to make a documentary on these breakers and the illegal gambling going on, I'm pretty sure Mike can do it.
100% I can do it. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they made it real easy to do this, to be quite honest with you. I mean, think about this. I had a break. I'll just tell you who I talked to today. I talked to Steve, the owner of Filth Bomb Breaks.
Hey now.
Today. He was kind enough to let us record him today for an interview for the documentary, where he pulled back the curtain on, operational expenses, how much it takes to run an operation like that, how, they hire people, to be entertainers, because
That's
part of the, yeah. And so Steve pulled back the curtain, and, he even said that he thought that all the breakers that were participating on Fanatics Live were possibly already under their gambling site. And he said that on the record today.
So wait, the breakers are all also listed on this Fanatics gambling site.
That he's not sure, but he thought so. And so, but at the end of the day, he understands that people are buying and it's a risk. He's not denying that. Like I used the example with him of going to the fair and buying a raffle ticket. And, he said, well, if people are doing a team break, then odds are they're 100% going to hit their team. But when you got people paying, he used the example, $3,000 for a spot on a case of Breakers Delight Chrome basketball for Cooper Flag, when the case is $13,000 and you're paying $3,000 for Cooper Flag.
For a player.
One player is 20% of the entire case, and you swing and you miss. I mean, you're gambling, and like in New York, let's say everything with Whatnot and Fanatics, this all goes through the court system, and they are found that this is a form of gambling, and there's billions of dollars now every year spent on breaking, not millions, billions. Okay. There's millions of dollars per day being spent on Whatnot. Okay. For breaking. the government will get involved because the government can now regulate and tax and make money just like gambling sites. Michael Rubin and everybody at Fanatics and Tops knows full well that breaking is a form of gambling. But as long as the breakers are allowed to do it without regulation, then this will continue. You got kids, adults going broke over breaking. That is gambling. That is an addiction. And to anybody who says otherwise, go pull a slot machine wheel at a local casino. It's no different, but it's 100% gambling. And let me pull back the curtain on something else. So my team, because we made purchases on different sites for breaking, are filing multiple federal lawsuits against Fanatics and whatnot, claiming that they are gambling sites, and we want to get them in for depositions.
Ooh, that is some heavy news. Wow. All right.
Because we want to hear the defense that a billion-dollar industry of breaking is not gambling, when Fanatics Live and whatnot will run numbered breaks, they will run player breaks, they will run team breaks, and it is all nothing more than a raffle ticket, which falls right under small game of chance. So the states are definitely going to want to get involved because there's way too much money exchanging hands through this form of gambling. And people are going to say, well, it's baseball cards, it's football cards. Yeah. But now it's billions of dollars a year.
And I don't want to bury the lead. So you just said that you and your team are going to file a lawsuit against Fanatics.
And whatnot.
For the premise of they are providing something that's gambling, but not calling it that.
Correct. That they are fully aware that this is a form of gambling.
Well, that's big. And we all.
So because we have made.
We all agree. I mean, you're right.
We've made purchases off both sites, so we'll be able to show our receipts from both sites to show that we purchased. That way we can file the lawsuits. But yes, this is a form of gambling. And what is really disgusting is when you got influencers out there who prey on the internet and telling kids to come to their break zone. Okay? I don't need to name names, but all I got to say is I can't wait till the state of Georgia gets involved.
Dang.
You know, because at the end of the day, you're preying on young kids to come to your break zone. Come on, be classy.
Oh my God. Music to my ears, everything you're saying, man. Wow.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you don't hear about this because people can't afford wax boxes. But you could afford wax boxes if there weren't breakers.
And there's so many aspects. And you're right about this being gambling. And then the whole, the big push on the prospects, that's a gamble. And that's always been a gamble. But what they're doing with the breaks is something new and something that's grown to be a size where, yeah, man, I think I'm thankful we talked today. Very thankful.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where between you're getting kids addicted to gambling at a young age. Sure, it's sports cards, but it's a form of gambling. And then what's next for them? What's next for these young kids? Are they going to go in school and start throwing dice up on the wall? Are they going to start making prop bets, at the 9th grade basketball game? I mean,
and it's just not that's always gone on, but it's not the right thing for a big industry to do. And as you mentioned, it can be predatory a little bit.
Yes. And if breakers are gone, or federally regulated and state regulated, like they should be because of the amount of money being transferred, well, then guess what? We all get to go back to our hobby shops and we get to go buy a box of Prism for $300 because the breakers won't be driving the price up to then charge you $3,000 for the opportunity to get Cooper Flag.
Mike, do you mind? Dave just called, and he was our caller before. He's a very intelligent guy. Do you mind if I throw him on with us?
Sure. Just let Dave know. I'm very peaceful. I'm not a argumentative guy.
No, I
so
think he's going to be on your side. He is completely on your side. Dave, how we doing?
No, I don't. I want him to know that I'm certainly not here to attack in any way. I do have one question, and it's more so a question. It is certainly not an attack. What possibility in the legal aspects of this, when we're dealing with the legal aspects of cost and value, the cost and values are perceived cost and values. Yes, there's a price on a pack of cards that's being charged, but there's no true value placed until somebody offers something for the cards that are pulled from those packs. So in other words, right now, the pack is the value or the cost of the pack. It's once those cards are removed from that packaging that they have a perceived value, but those values aren't real until an actual offer and transfer of money and funds has been made. So is it really something that you can chase or is it not? And with that question, I'm out. All right.
Hey,
so that question there, so on perceived value, here's the thing. You have breakers setting the value of a team or a player. So, and then you have other breakers setting bounties for insane amount of numbers to drive people into their breaks to try and win a bounty on a card. So these breakers are making it real easy to show that it's gambling. The perceived value of a card. Now we're getting into a whole different area. I mean, we could talk about a perceived value for 2 days and still not get it right.
And I'm real quick with Stukro, the perceived value is what the person that opens the pack is looking for. So the only reason you're buying into this slot machine is because you know there could be a jackpot in there. You know, there is something that's so. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. At the end of the day, perceived value is based on market demand. Whether it's the real estate market, the used car market, antiques, coins, it's all based on the demand.
And I'll throw one more out there. Some of these breakers are offering a $10,000 bounty for such and such card, or I'll give you $5,000 if you put a 1-1. So they're They're not only selling the product, they're creating a price for it as well for you to come play.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that was actually brought up today between Steve and I. So Steve, I asked him point blank about bounties. And he said that they do offer occasionally, not often, they'll do a $10,000 bounty, but it's a $10,000 break bounty. In other words, they get break credit. So I said to him, so basically, somebody who wins that $10,000 break credit, they're either going to hit big or they're going to get 5% of their money back, right? And he's like, yeah, anything's possible. So I'm like, isn't that gambling?
Yep.
I mean, casinos give you points on your player's card that you can use for pulls on a slot machine or inside the restaurant there. Now, if you choose to use that card with the casino points and pull that slot machine handle, that's gambling. Okay. And if you win big, you win big. But why do you think the casino gives you those points back? Because they know you're not going to win.
Oh. Okay. Or if you do win, they know the addiction in gambling is you throw it back. You know, you keep playing.
And we also interviewed 3 individuals who got bounties for cards that they pulled in excess of over $25,000, where they collected $25,000 in cash for a card and returned it to whoever was offering the bounty. And I found out that these breakers and wax sellers didn't even give them a tax form.
That sounds about right.
So
25 grand.
So a transaction that is over $600 requires IRS documentation. So why wouldn't you do something for $25,000? And I mean, think about it. If you buy into that break for a Cooper flag at $3,000 and you hit a card that sells for $100,000, there is no difference between that and capital gains if you sell it in under 3 years. No different than real estate. You paid $3,000, now you sold it for $100,000, and under 3 years, you should be paying 30% tax on that $100,000.
Even game shows got to pay tax. Even those.
Yeah.
Numbers.
The card breaking world is so messed up from top to bottom. I don't think any of the breakers know what's right and what's wrong when it comes to the gambling side, the tax implications, because there's no regulation. Now, are there certain breakers that I really respect? I really respect the fact that Steve at Filthbomb talked on the record. 100% respect that man. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to talk about any of this, you know? And I also, I like that guy who runs that, I think it's called Run Good Life.
Hey now, RGL, yeah.
That guy seems like a class act. He doesn't seem like some money hungry, grabber. But
he does care, he does, he has the shtick going too, but he cares. He does care about the hobby.
But unfortunately, he's still part of the problem.
Yeah, of course he is. Yep.
It is gambling. You need to acknowledge that you're running gambling, and you need to pay everything that's going to happen, because Whatnot and Fanatics will be found, in my opinion, to be gambling sites when it comes to breaking. Other aspects of their sites will not. And maybe it won't even be, maybe it's only, you can only run team breaks. That way you're guaranteed your team. But at the end of the day, sports card breaking is in for a rude 2026. Dang. And they deserve everything they got coming, because they completely, between them and PSA, they have ruined the hobby.
Oh, you're in the right place, Mike. You're in the right place for that.
I mean,
I'd love to have you back on as this happens. Is that something we can have, make happen? I know you're really busy also.
Man, I'm slammed. I'd love to come back on. Are there any questions from your chat or any comments?
I'm taking a look right now. Did questions if Fanatics foresee this, which is why Fanatics has their gambling sports book on sports, as you're mentioning. Is this how Fanatics will shut down their competition of Whatnot and force everyone over to Fanatics Live?
Well, if what Steve said is remotely accurate today, where he said he thought Fanatics might have breakers under the sports betting side, under the gambling side, if that's true, that's a good thing, but it's not good for Steve. Because if that's the case, Steve is operating in New York, where you can only have gambling operations on Native American land.
But in
yes, we're filing in multiple states.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're filing in states where it is very heavy on sports betting, because this is the equivalent of sports betting. 100%. And, I challenge all of the major breakers to say otherwise and tell me why it's not gambling. Debate me on this platform with you through your YouTube. I will debate any of them on this live because they know not only is it gambling, but they're drawing in 12, 13, 14-year-olds, no matter what they say. Don't tell me to come to your break zone and bring my kids. Okay? I mean, I don't know what's worse. I mean, that's like, you're just encouraging a generation of illegal gambling. Regulate it. It's not like this industry's doing $10,000. This industry's doing billions of dollars. And when you get into billions, it needs regulation. Just like with PSA buying up SGC and Beckett, we got to watch out for monopolies.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.